All right, let's try this, I guess. See what happens.
Well, I don't know what this thing is. I think it's a strip show, dance show.
Work there, dude.
Welcome to
DeaconLive.
DeaconLive.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, another update on the dead KC3. Also, welcome to the Year of the Dragon. And third time is not a charm for this 70-year-old skydiver. And who the hell is Jeremiah Fennell, and why is he after my job? All this and much, much more we discuss here on DeaconLive. How are you? And don't forget, for the next 60 minutes or so, we're going to comb through your social news feeds that you might have missed over the last 7 days or so. So how are you? How are things? How are things going? I am... Yep. Still got it. Still got the ick. It's not as bad as it was. But it is somewhat... It's amazing. You know, I read stories and stuff about the whole COVID thing. And as you guys know, I don't have a shot in the dark. I don't have I didn't get the boosters. I didn't get all the shots. I didn't do all that stuff because, you know, I work and play right out of here in our studio. And don't forget, for every podcast we do, we have a matching video over on YouTube as well. So what you're hearing on your iTunes, your iHeart, your Spotify and stuff, you can also see this in real time as we're talking about everything here on the show over on YouTube. So make sure you subscribe over there as well. But I hear all these articles about, you know, lasting 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks. And I'm not that I'm a believer. Believe me, it takes a lot to make me actually believe this type stuff. You know, yes, a man walked on water. Yes, a man fed thousands with, you know, fish and 7 loaves of bread and 2 fish or something like that. It takes a lot for me to believe something, but I'm I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. Now, my wife, she had the luxury of working from home, and now they have called her back in, big cattle call, brought everyone back into the main facility where she works at, and she works about 45 miles from here. It takes her a good maybe 55, almost an hour to get there, and less time coming home because she gets home at about... She leaves the facility in downtown Charlotte. And we live just outside of Charlotte in a town called Marshville. And you could do the math on the numbers there if you want to Google search all that. But when she comes home with this, you know, daylight savings times, we can dive in that story, you know, several podcasts ago and several podcasts in the future. God damn. Where was I going? Oh, the daylight savings times. So the whole daylight savings times, we can get into that on another day. But she comes home, and as she's driving home, it's 2-lane country roads. Right when you get off the major highways and stuff, it's 2-lane country roads. And that sun is setting. If it's not setting, it's already been down for an hour or two. So she's driving on these non-lit, you know, there's no street lights or anything. And I worry about her driving home because, one, she's already hit a deer. Like our first couple of years that we were out here, she's hit a deer before. And, you know, you didn't think it would be possible. You know, you wouldn't think that, you know, a deer would hear or see a car and not run to it. Well, sure enough, I think like the third year we were living up here in North Carolina. Now we're all from Orlando, Florida, so we don't have deer running, you know, willy-nilly through the neighborhoods and stuff. So a deer ran out in front of my wife, and that was 3 years ago. So I always say, you know, when you come home, you know, drive safely. You hear that all the time. And it's kind of like, you know, I have a good time. And you're like going, okay, well, I wasn't. But now that you said that, now I'm going to have a good time. So it's those slogans and those phrases that you say to people, and you really don't think anything about it. But when I'm saying it, I'm like, you know, drive safely. Like, hey, don't forget, you know, your surroundings, your location, you know, the time of night or time of day or whatever time you're driving, just pay a little bit more attention. If it was a easy, like if she was leaving in the middle of the day, all right, I'm going to the store. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. You know, that type of stuff. But because of the time of the hour that she drives, I always say, you know, drive safely. Just keep that in mind, in the back of your mind. So I tell you that to tell you this is the other day, actually last week, I talked about it on another show and stuff, but I figured you guys would have the benefit now that the quote unquote, the fog has cleared and we figured out what actually happened and what's going to happen. My wife, no, she didn't hit a deer. She ran over a live skunk, making it unalive. I guess you're not allowed to say dead anymore on TikTok or anything. They frown upon that. But she ran over a skunk. A skunk darted out in front of her, and she ran over she was on the passenger side. So front passenger wheel, ba-doom, back passenger tire, ba-doom, right underneath the exhaust. Shit and spray goes everywhere. She gets home and wakes me up 9:30 at night. I know, pussy, right? 9:30 at night, I'm in bed. But she wakes me up and says, hey, I hit a skunk. I'm so mad at myself, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, okay. Well, we'll handle it, babe. You're okay. Everything's all right. And then I go out there to assess the damage of the car. Car's fine. Undercarriage is fine. I can see damage for the most part. You hit a skunk, all right? It's a large squirrel. It's a small raccoon. So you hit a skunk. Everything's good, I guess. But you could smell it. Oh, man, her car stunk. So she's like, she came into the house and she had you could smell it on her. You could smell that stink on her when she came in the house. I'm like going, Jesus, you did it, a skunk. So I go out there and a little bit of soap, a little bit of vinegar, did it on the undercarriage and stuff. That night, let it sit. Next morning, she's like, I'm not taking that car to work because the interior of that car smells like skunk. Now, if you've ever passed a skunk on the road, that's been hit, you smell that in the car for a little bit and then the air takes over and then that smells, dissipated out of the car. But when you hit a skunk, I don't know how long that takes for the smell to get out of there. I know. Riveting conversation. Believe me, we'll get into the topics here. I'm just giving you an update on the little personal life that is DeaconLive and what I have to live through living out here on the property. So took the car to the car wash. So she drove the big truck to work, took the car to the car wash, drove all the way to the car wash. Now it's cool here in North Carolina. It's on average 45 degrees, if not 50 degrees during the day, and at night it drops down to 20. So you can drive around without your heat on. You can drive around without the AC on and be okay, But man, that car stunk. God, did it stink. So went up to the car wash guy, where you put the car in neutral, it pulls you through and does all the stuff. I said, hey, look, man. He's like, how can I help you? Because they've got a guy out there at the screen there helping you. Real good car wash. I said, give me the deluxe. And I said, not for nothing, my wife hit a skunk. And as soon as I said that, he goes, oh, yeah, I smell it. He goes, well, this one has the undercarriage wash and this one has the undercarriage wash. And you could do it. I'm like, no. If it's the same thing, it's nothing special. I'll just do the deluxe with the Rain-X and all that stuff. Went through, washed it all off, did my thing, came back. And my wife, not my wife, I read online, well, I knew this from a long time ago, of having like work vehicles and stuff. If you put like a quarter cup to a half a cup of coffee grounds in like a bowl and just set it in the car somewhere, it'll absorb that smell. So I did that. And car's been sitting out there a week. I drive it around, to go to the store, go get bread, go get milk, whatever, go get beer or whatever. I'll drive it around. I don't mind. She's like, but I can't drive that car if that smell gets into my clothes and I walk around work, in the executive offices and stuff. Hi, everybody. And everyone goes, hi. Ooh, what's that smell? She's like, I can't drive that until that smell is completely gone. Well, it's gone for the most part. The one thing is, this is a 2017 Audi Q5, and we have taken so good care of this car. Like, it still smelt up until this point. Smelled like a brand new car inside. It had that brand new car smell still. We don't eat in the car. We don't do any of that stuff. We don't haul stuff. I'll go to the store and get groceries and come back. Car gets buttoned up. It's like vacuum sealed. Every time we leave it, it's vacuum sealed. Well, unfortunately, now we've got this vacuum seal with skunk smell in it. And I just went out there just a few minutes ago to kind of smell it and stuff. And I was like, I can't tell if it's coffee or the skunk smell still lingering inside the vehicle. So I kind of rolled the windows down and hopefully that'll dissipate. But if you've got an answer of what I could do to get that smell off of the car, I'd love to hear from you. And the way you can be part of the show, you can be podcast famous, is go over to Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com. At the bottom of the page has a little blue bar. It says be heard. You can speak right in that. Comes right to our inbox, and you can be podcast famous, be right here on the air. You can be anonymous if you want. I don't care. Just we'd love to hear from you. If you've got a microphone, you can speak right into it and send an email. Well, not send an email. Be able to click on that over Prophet Radio. It'll come right to our inbox, and we'll play it on the very next podcast. All right, so God, I wish there was a way I could just take a spoon and just get all that stuff out of my throat. When we come back, this motocross guy, I guess this is the season, is a motocross, you know, the what the fuck am I trying to say? I guess this is the time of year where the motocross series start happening and stuff. Because I remember down in Florida, they would have them like around January, and I guess they make this tour and stuff. Well, this guy right here got into a little accident and almost went balls out. And we'll dive into that story and hear what he has to say about what happened during his race. So stick around. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back.
Boo! 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 Oh no. Wait! Come back!
This is the end. The absolute end.
Écoute-moi,